Hello and welcome to World Talks on TVP World with me, Ashim Kumar. Following the presidential victory in Poland of the conservative-leaning candidate Karol Nawrocki, Prime Minister Tusk faces institutional headwinds that could paralyse reform. Joining us today to unpack Poland's looming vote of confidence and the evolving battle over the rule of law in Poland is Michał Wawrykiewicz, member of the European Parliament with the European People's Party. Welcome, sir, to TVP World. Thanks for taking the time.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. So, what is behind Prime Minister Tusk's vote of confidence, which is scheduled for June the 11th?
Well, definitely the outcome of Polish presidential elections have triggered significant shift in the political landscape in Poland. So it is also putting the government of Donald Tusk in a challenging and a difficult position. Because all of the new laws that are passed in the parliament needs a signature of the president. And we can expect that this president will not sign these crucial new legislation. That's why, having in mind that Donald Tusk government is in a challenging and a difficult position, the prime minister decided to file a motion for a vote of confidence to prove that he has a strong majority in the parliament, that the coalition is very stable and can rule Poland for the next 2.5 years.
Is it stable, and do you think Prime Minister Tusk will win this vote?
Definitely. I'm pretty sure that the coalition is stable, that the majority in the parliament is stable, and Prime Minister Tusk will prove it in the parliament next week on the 11th of June.
OK, now let's move to the new president, President-elect Nawrocki. Now, he's a Europe skeptic, but he isn't entirely anti-European Union. How would you describe his influence on the relationship between Poland and the rest of the EU?
Well, I can expect a lot of turbulences in the international policy of Poland within next months and years, because, as you mentioned, Karol Nawrocki is very skeptical when it comes to the European Union. He wants to strengthen our relationship with the United States. But we have to remember that according to Polish constitution, the internal affairs, when it comes to the policy, the government is responsible for that. And the Minister for Internal Affairs is responsible for that policy. So Radosław Sikorski, as the minister, will be the one who is dealing with these issues, especially with the European Union. Of course, Karol Nawrocki can try to make it problematic, but we'll see. We'll see how it will go, and I hope that new Polish president will not stop our good relationship with European Union.
Understood. Now, staying with the European Commission now, Article 7 procedure against Poland has ended, which concluded that there's no longer a clear risk of a serious breach of the rule of law. What leverage, if any, does the European Commission still hold then if, due to President Nawrocki's election, there is some barrier in the way of implementing the changes of judicial reform, for example?
That is very important issue, one of the most important. That was a huge conflict between Poland and the European Union between 2015 and 2023. Right now, this government is ready to implement all of the verdicts of the European courts, but as we want to follow these verdicts, we need new legislations. And these legislations need to have the signature of the president. And that is the problem, because we can expect that Karol Nawrocki, as the representative of the political camp of law and justice, that introduced all of these changes violating the rule of law, will not follow the line of the government. So we can have a problem on that level. But I am fully convinced that the European Commission understands this situation in Poland. And once the government will provide and will pass new laws in the parliament, and potentially president will refuse to sign it, will veto it, then the Commission will have the proof that the Polish government is fully implementing these European standards, constitutional standards, but the one who is stopping this process is the new president.
What impact, if any, then, in the situation you have just described, is there on the flow of European funding for Poland?
Well, that is a very precedential situation, to be honest, because we never had the situation when the government is representing a fully European democratic line and wants to implement all of the standards, wants to implement European rulings of the Court of Justice, of the European Court of Human Rights, and the president is blocking it. I believe that the European Commission and other institutions will understand that complicated situation and will not block the funds for Polish government, because our Prime Minister, Donald Tusk, is the one who is very important leader, one of the most important leaders of European Union, and is the one who fully follows the line and the values of the European Union. So that will be very complicated challenge also for the European Commission. But we are here in the European Parliament to describe the complexity of this situation and to convince our colleagues also from the European Commission that our country is the one who is following.
Yes, I understand the role that you've just described for the European People's Party, but here's my understanding, and please correct me if I'm wrong. Are you saying that even if no changes are made within Poland because of presidential veto, there will be no effect on the flow of European funds? In other words, the rule of law issue has not been completely resolved because the legislation isn't in place, but Europe will still get the money. Is that what you're saying?
Well, you need to notice that in Poland, actually everything changed in the field of the rule of law after 15th of October 2023, because as we had in the past dozens of Polish judges which were repressed by the country, dozens of Polish prosecutors, independent prosecutors, which were repressed by the country, by the government. Now we have a completely different situation. And this is what the European Commission recognizes and notices. So we are in a completely different position.
It certainly is a complex situation. Mr. Michał Wawrykiewicz, excuse me, thank you very much for your time. Have a good day, sir. And that brings us to the end of this episode of World Talks. Goodbye.